صلى الله عليك يا سيدي، صلى الله عليك يا سيدي، يا مولا يا أبا عبد الله. يا ليتنا كنا معكم سيدي فنفوز والله فوزا عظيما. Respected brothers, sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Tonight is the 10th night of Muharram. Tonight is the eve of Ashura, a very tragic night. A very sad night, brothers and sisters. The last night for the 72 martyrs of Karbala. The last night for brothers to be with their sisters. The last night for sisters to be with their brothers. The last night for fathers to be with their children. The last night for mothers to be with their children, brothers and sisters. The last night for little Sukaina to be with her beloved Uncle Abbas and her dearest father Hussain. Indeed, a night never to be forgotten. A night to shed more tears, a night to do more matam. Mothers are sitting with their children. Layla is with Ali Akbar. Farawa is with Qasim. Bibi Zainab is with Aoun and Muhammad. What are these mothers of Karbala telling their beloved children? What are these mothers really telling? What are these mothers of Karbala really telling their children? They are preparing them for jihad. They are preparing them to be sacrificed, and they are preparing them to sacrifice their lives and preparing them to die. Why, brothers and sisters? Because they know Hussain is on the right path to save Islam. Let us send our salams to those mothers of Karbala for sacrificing their most precious for Islam. Abbas, like every night, Abbas was guarding the camp. Where was Hussain? Hussain had gathered all his friends and companions in his tent. My friends, my companions, tonight is the last night. Tomorrow is the day of Ashura. Tomorrow is the day of Shahadat, martyrdom. None of us will be spared by Yazid's soldiers. Imam Hussain continued, my friends, my companions, you have suffered enough. There is still time to save your lives. Escape the darkness of the night. I will have no objections. Imam al-Hussain is giving his companions a chance to leave, to be saved. I will forgive you, he says. Go, my friends, go, my companions. Imam al-Hussain blew the candles off. There was total darkness. Anyone could have escaped without being seen or embarrassed. After a while, Hussain lit the candles. How many ran away, brothers and sisters? How many ran away from saving their Imam? 1, 2, 5 or 10? No one. Why did they not run away to save their lives? Because, my fellow Hussaini, they had recognized the truth. Because they knew Hussain was right. Because they knew Hussain was on the true path. Because they knew their sacrifice would save Islam. Hussain was lucky, blessed with his true friends and his best companions, faithful, truthful and pious. Our greetings to those 72 martyrs of Karbala for their great sacrifice for Islam. Imam Hussain made the biggest sacrifice, brothers and sisters. In one day he sacrificed his brothers, nephews and children on the lands of Karbala. He remained patient after seeing so many dead in one day. Did Hussain complain, brothers and sisters? After seeing so many people die in one day, did he complain? No, never. Abu Abdullah never complained. On the contrary, after sacrificing his 18-year-old son Ali al-Akbar, he looked up at the sky and said, Ya Allah, give me more patience. Ya Allah, is there anything else I can give you? Ya Allah, is there anything else I can sacrifice? Ya Allah, for your sake. Allah's will was Hussein's command. Hussain was prepared and willing to sacrifice his family. He never prayed to Allah, not once, to save his family. Instead, he prayed for patience, patience and more patience. Allah, what a big heart Hussain had in Karbala. Aun Muhammad were killed. Qasim was trodden to pieces. Abbas was lying on the banks of Riga Farhat, on the river of Farhat. Ali Akbar's chest was torn open with a spear. Is there any more sacrifice? Tonight is the night of Ali al-Asghar, the little mujahid, the little soldier of the youngest shaheed. Ashura came to the lands of Karbala. One by one, Hussein's friends and companions were martyred. Aun Muhammad, Qasim, Abbas and Ali al-Akbar went to the battlefield and they were martyred. By Asr time, Hussain was left alone. Poor Hussain, poor Abu Abdullah. Left alone, he was left alone. The time had come for Hussain to go to the battlefield. Hussain said Khuda Hafiz to everyone. Hussain with his sword, Zulfikar on his waist, mounted Zuljana his horse. Hussain rode his horse to a small mount. He then called out loudly, these are the words that kill me, brothers and sisters. Is there anyone to help me? Is there anyone to help the grandson of the Holy Prophet, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi? With this call, the grandson of the Holy Prophet was giving one last chance to Yazid's men, the men who called themselves Muslims, the followers of the Holy Prophet. Hypocrites, brothers and sisters. That's what Yazid's men were. They were hypocrites. No one answered Hussein's call, but Hussain heard the sound of a cry coming from his camp. Hussain turned around and returned to his tent. Zainab, your brother is still alive. Why are you crying? Hussain said to Zainab, his sister. My brother Hussain, when you called out, is there anyone to help me? Ali Asghar fell from his cradle. The little boy, hearing his father, he fell from his cradle. Hussain knew what Ali Asghar was trying to say. Hussain went to Bab. Ali Asghar was on her lap. He was crying and Bab was trying to comfort him. Hussain picked up his baby, Ali Asghar, and whispered in his ear. Ali Asghar stopped crying. He looked up at his father and smiled. Bab, I am taking Ali Asghar to the battlefield with me, so that I can get him some water. I want to take him to get him some water. What did Hussain whisper in Ali Asghar's ears? What made Ali Asghar stop crying and to smile? Hussain whispered in his ears, my son Ali Asghar, do you want to come to the battlefield with me? Asghar, do you want to show your strength on the battlefield? Come, let us go, my little mujahid, my little soldier Asghar. Rubab changed Ali Asghar's clothes. Imam al-Hussain carried Ali Asghar to the battlefield. It was very hot, brothers and sisters. It was too hot to take a baby with you to the battlefield. Ali Asghar, the son of Hussain, was thirsty. Hussain covered the baby Ali Asghar with his abaya to protect him from the scorching sun. Yazid's men saw Hussain approaching them with something in his hand. Look, Hussain is coming with the Quran. He has no one left to help him. With the help of the Quran, he is hoping to win. Look at what they said, brothers and sisters. Yazid's cowardly men said, look, Hussain is coming with the Quran. He has no one left to help him. He has no one left to help him. He has come with the Quran, hoping the Quran will help him. Hussain Abu Abdullah walked to Yazid's soldiers. By moving the abaya, he uncovered Ali al-Asghar. He held Ali al-Asghar with both hands. And he said, O soldiers of Yazid, you feel I have offended you. But what has this little child done to you? His mother's milk has dried up. He has not a drop of water for 3 days. He is dying of thirst. I beg you to give him some water. So innocent, this little child. Not one of Yazid's soldiers brought any water for Ali al-Asghar. One more time, Imam al-Hussain begged them. Maybe you think that when you bring water for this child, I will drink it too. I will put this little child on the ground. You can come and give him some water yourself. Abu Abdullah was desperate to give Ali Asghar some water. When you sacrifice an animal in the religion of Islam, it is recommended, if not obligatory, for you to give the animal some water before you slaughter it. What water did they give Ali Asghar? Hussain placed Ali Asghar on the burning sands of Karbala. Ali Asghar laid quietly on the hot sand of Karbala. He's turned his head and stared at Yazid's men. Ali Asghar was staring at them. No water came for Ali Asghar, brothers and sisters. No water came for Ali Asghar. Hussain picked up Ali Asghar and said, my son Ali Asghar, my darling, you are too young to fight with a sword or a spear. My little mujahid, my little soldier, you are the grandson of Ali Asghar. Fight your jihad with your tongue. Little Asghar stuck his dry tongue out, and he moved it over his dry lips, looking towards Yazid's men. He fought jihad with his tongue. The little soldier shot a strange arrow, his dry tongue. It hit Yazid's heart. It hit the hearts of Yazid's soldiers after they saw Ali's Asghar. His tongue was so dry, a little baby. Children of their own, they thought about the children of their own. They became restless. Some of them started crying, brothers and sisters. Some of Yazid's army men started to cry after seeing that. They spoke amongst themselves. Hussain is saying the truth. What has the child done to us? Why is he punished like this? Let us give him some water. Umar Sa'ad got worried that his soldiers will turn against him. The little soldier's fight was very effective. Little Ali Asghar was fighting jihad his way. Umar Sa'ad, la'natullahu alayh, may Allah curse him, brothers and sisters. Umar Sa'ad ordered his best archer, brothers and sisters, Hurmala. He said, Hurmala, what are you waiting for? Silence the little child. Don't you know he's the grandson of Ali? Hurry, shoot your arrow before it's too late. Hurmala, la'natullahu alayh. Hurmala aimed an arrow at Ali Asghar. A small arrow for a little child. No, how can this be happening? An arrow not with one head, not with two heads, brothers and sisters, but with three sharp heads. The arrow had three sharp heads. Why an arrow with three sharp heads for such a small child? My fellow Hussaini, you will not be able to stop crying when you hear what happened next, brothers and sisters. An arrow with three sharp heads flew across the desert of Karbala. It was heading for Ali Asghar. Hussain saw the arrow coming. He covered Ali Asghar with his arms. Then the arrow reached Hussain. The arrow went through Hussein's arm and lodged. The arrow went through Hussein's arm and lodged the tiny neck of Ali Asghar. Ali Asghar died instantly. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Poor Hussain, the poor father who had come to get water for his child. Instead of water, Ali Asghar got an arrow in his neck. What shall Hussain do now? What shall Hussain do now? Hussain gently pulled the arrow from Asghar's tiny neck. My fellow Hussaini, put your hand on your heart. Imagine the scene, a father removing an arrow from his child's neck. What a tragic scene. Blood gushed from Ali Asghar's neck. A voice came from the ground. No, Hussain, do not let Ali Asghar's blood fall to the ground. Otherwise no crops will ever grow from this earth. Hussain looked up at the sky. A voice came from the sky, brothers and sisters. No, Hussain, don't let the blush gush towards the sky. Otherwise a drop of rain will never ever fall from the sky. What shall Hussain do now? What shall Hussain do now? The sky is refusing the earth. It is not happy to accept Asghar's blood. Poor Hussaini wiped Ali Akbar's blood on his face. Hussain started walking towards his tent. He saw Ali Asghar's mother, Rubab, standing by his tent. A mother anxiously waiting for her baby. She was waiting for Ali Asghar to return, thinking he may have got some water. Hussain thought, how can I face Rubab? What shall I tell her? How can I tell her? Her baby was martyred without water. How and how? 7 times Hussain went forward and then turned back, saying, Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi raji'un. He finally reached the tent where Rubab was standing. Rubab, come and take your Ali Asghar. Rubab, come and take your Ali Asghar. Rubab, come and take your Ali Asghar. Rubab, your little soldier has died for the sake of Allah. Rubab took her little child, Ali Asghar. She hugged him and cried her heart out, brothers and sisters. Come with me, Rubab, enough, Rubab, enough. Let us bury our baby Asghar. Hussain and Rubab walked to the back of the tents. Hussain dug a small grave with his sword, the Zulfikar. Rubab placed Ali Asghar in the small grave. My fellow Hussaini, why should we not cry tonight? Why should we not do matam tonight? Have we ever heard of any other father and mother digging a grave and burying their own child? Where can Hussain get water to sprinkle on Ali Asghar's grave? There is no water to sprinkle on Ali Asghar's grave. Hussain sat by the grave. Tears poured on the grave. So Ali Asghar's grave was sprinkled with Hussain's tears. As Abu Abdullah did not have any water to sprinkle over the grave of Ali al-Asghar. How much can Abu Abdullah bear? How much can Abu Abdullah bear after seeing so many killings of those who he loved? A little child shot with a three-headed arrow. La'natullahu alayhi Yazid and his soldiers. La'natullahu alayhim ajma'in. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. We ask Allah to allow us to raise our children in the way of Abu Abdullah. We ask Allah to grant us the iman and the tawfiq. We ask Allah to allow us to always have the remembrance of Abu Abdullah and the ones who died alongside him in Ashura, in Karbala. We ask Allah to guide us onto the righteous path and bless us with iman. We ask Allah to protect us and our loved ones and our families. Thank you for listening. عظم الله أجوركم وأجورنا بسيدي أبا عبد الله الحسين صلوات الله وسلامه عليه. Please recite Surah Al-Fatiha followed by الصلوات على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.